Welcome to Animal Football Insider, your weekly look into the happenings of your Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Florida Gators, and all things related to football. And now, from West Des Moines, Iowa, here's your host.
I tell you what, every time I hear that song, it gets me so pumped up. And why not? We are less than 8 days, 7 to 8 days away from the kickoff of the 2023 college football season, at least for the Florida Gators, as they get ready for their game against Utah. 1 week from this Thursday night will be on ESPN. More on that game in just a couple of minutes. Here's Truly the Animal with you on this edition of Animal Football Insider on a night where, can't get anybody to join me. But you know what? It still doesn't mean you can't bring the questions to the table. And we discuss anything sports related that's going on, not just the Bucs, not just the Gators, anything that you guys would like to bring to the table. That's what we're going to discuss. Let me grab a little bit of cold drink here. My Gator thing right here. Just love it. And for conversation purposes tonight, we should start out with the big news that happened today. Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles made it official that Baker Mayfield is going to be the starting quarterback when they take on the Minnesota Vikings in the season opener. Of course, they got one more game this week, and one final preseason game, and we'll discuss that in a few minutes. And I'm kind of weary on how I feel about all this, because on the one hand, Prescott played Baker. No question in my mind about it. And a lot of people will say, yes, the animal has a mind of his own. Yeah. But when you go back and you look at all this, I think it was determined that Baker Mayfield was going to be the quarterback. And for me, I'm kind of teed off about it. How you say, why? Animal? Because Baker outplayed Trask. No, Baker did not outplay Trask. It's the other way around, as a matter of fact. Granted, Trask had more playing time because of injury to John Wolford in the game last week against the Jets. And by the way, Wolford is fine. He's back on the practice field today. Had suffered a nasty head. He got sacked when he fell down his head first on the ground. Nasty injury. And he was fine. Went back to the team. So Trask had to grab his helmet and go back in and play. Funny thing about that is, I don't know if you guys are made aware of it. By the way, Animal Football Insider is sponsored by the fine people at Carpet Director of Des Moines, Iowa. And for all your carpeting needs, get a hold of my good friend Benton Taylor. He does an excellent job. We're doing carpet replacements, floor replacements. The man does it all. He does a great job. So give my friend Benton Taylor a call at Carpet Director, and I'll try and find that phone number a little bit later. But one interesting thing I found out about the game against the Jets is that when Trask went out onto the field in the third quarter, he left his helmet in the locker room. It just happened by some chance that a trainer walked by, took the helmet to Baker Mayfield, and said, "This is Kyle's, just in case you may need it." Okay, which I think always Kyle would because they have the radio in the helmet, and you wouldn't want to listen to what's going on. Well, that all changed when Wolford went down. Trask was uh, getting ready to go, and as he was warming up, he almost forgot about his helmet, and he said, "Oh, by the way, that's the trainer took the helmet to a Trask and said, "Oh, by the way, here's your helmet." He's like, "I left that in the locker room." The Trask was not going to play in the second half. That was never the intention. And there was some thought that maybe Baker Mayfield might get a shot in the second half. But when you look at the game, what you saw Saturday night, what you saw was a pathetic play, poor play of this offense. And there were no starters in that game. It was all second and third stringers. Keep that in mind. And when the chips were down, Kyle Trask did one hell of a job. As a matter of fact, how good did Kyle Trask do? I'm going to pull up his numbers here in just a minute and bring up the stats from the game. I do not believe Kyle had an interception in the game. In fact, I am almost positive that Kyle Trask did not have an interception in the game. Um, and so I'm still trying to find the stats in the game if I can. Um, one thing about when they do these schedules, it's very hard. It's very hard to get stats and information off the website. Hang on just a second here. Let me pull this up here. There we go. I'm back here. This is the animal review on this edition of Animal Football Insider, sponsored by Corporate Direct, Des Moines, Iowa. I don't think that Caltraft had a pick. I don't think he had a pick in the game. I can't find the stats in the game, but yeah, I don't think Caltraft had a interception in the game. He threw for like 221 yards or something like that, and I mean, you look at that, and it's like, wow, this kid did a pretty darn good job considering what he had to go through. I mean, Contract was no saint. He didn't. He didn't. I mean, in my opinion, I thought he played a great game. But by the same token, he could have made some better throws here and there. But here's one thing I'll say about Contract. You notice how Contract goes off the pocket? You ever notice how the difference between Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask, how they were out the pocket? Baker's much slower. There's no question in my mind. There's no question in my mind about it that Baker Mayfield is slow. So, I just think that Baker. I just think that overall, I think Kyle's much faster, quicker. He was learning the game well. But then I get back and I say to myself, and I look at the situation, and I say to myself, this might not be bad. This might not be a bad thing after all, because if you look at the situation, Baker Mayfield is going to start, but that doesn't mean that Kyle Trask is not going to play. As a matter of fact, you can expect Kyle Trask to play a lot during the football season. In fact, I wanted to make a prediction right here and I'll tell you that Kyle Trask will be the will be the before the year's over with. I think Kyle Trask will replace Baker Mayfield. That's how confident I am about the season, and it's not a bad thing. You know, it's just that Baker Mayfield, I don't think can get the job done. I don't. Welcome your comments in the chat room. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say about football, about skaters, anything you want to talk about here tonight. I can't believe that I don't have any stats on the game. I thought I could was able to bring up some stats, but I guess that was impossible. So, um, so now, so now, what happens now with so now what happens with Kyle Trask? I mean, I'm told that Trask was informed first. Trask was informed first before Baker Mayfield. So I thought that I thought I found that to be interesting. I love to get a fly on the wall for that conversation. I love to have been a fly on the wall for that conversation. Um, because I think it would have been a very interesting conversation, to say the least. Anywhere from how well Kyle Trask handled things, you know, and I think he did fine. You know, I think that he I think Kyle Trask is a man of classiness that he's going to understand, you know, during the course of a game. I forgot. I forgot. You know, they have the all 22. I forgot about that. On the on NFL.com, you have the opportunity to do a package, and in this package, you're able to see sideline and end zone angles of the plays. And I was gonna go through it and see some things, but never really um, got a chance to do that. What is it? Let's see here. Yeah, passing yards 259 on the day. I think Trash was responsible for 221 yards of that. So what's interesting on NFL.com when they show the stats, they don't show the quarterback Trask's numbers. They were deleted. So I find that to be interesting. Oh, how that? Interesting. But nevertheless, Baker's going to be the starter. What about the defense that played in the game? You look at the defense and the way they played, and this was again, this wasn't first string starters. This was basically second and third string guys seeing more action. So you're not going to put a lot of these guys starters out and these preseason matchups. You're going to see starters this week when they take on the Ravens this coming Friday. And speaking of which, and something that I never knew that is that the Ravens I think they had like a 24 game winning streak in the preseason. Not that it matters, but 24 straight wins. And the Washington Redskins were able to beat them last night on ESPN's televised game. And brings up another thing too. When it's off the national preseason broadcast, you don't see you have not seen it at all until ESPN did their game last night. You don't see something from NBC. You didn't see anything from Fox um, or CBS. I think you'll see some this week, but then again, a lot of these broadcasters are doing preseason games for local teams like Chris Meyer and Roger Barber, who are doing the call for the Buccaneer games, who does an excellent job with my good buddy Dan Lucas being on the sideline. Just does an excellent job. And Dan was unavoidable and not able to come tonight due to some things that are going on down in Tampa, like the Baker Mayfield deal. Excuse me a minute. Baker Mayfield deal. And some things that are going on with the Tampa Bay Rays. And that is a mess all in itself. I don't know really what to make of that. But for the most part, I thought that the Bucs did a great job. Rodrigo Blankenship, guy tried but was unable. It's not going to be the starting kicker. It's going to be Chase McLaughlin. That much has been determined. So I mean that's what happens when you miss a couple of easy kicks. Next man up, and McLaughlin was able to do that and did a fine job. Let's see if anybody's watching on my YouTube thing. There's some noise here in just a minute, so please turn down here in just a minute. It's good. Okay, cool. So this is why is my text to say interesting, interesting. I have to get that. I have to get that worked out for my next show. I apologize to those watching on YouTube, unable to watch me tonight. I did not know that my chat was disabled, so I have no idea. I really have no idea why. I have to get somebody who's a techie guy and understand it. So, but as I said, bring anything you want to the table. I'm open to anything. Hey, my good friend Corey Bruce, he's on. And Corey's also a Gator. And Corey, I hope you watch our whole show tonight because I'm going to answer your question in just a little bit. But also, there's something else that's happening with the Gators, both on the field and off the field. We're going to get into all that in just a few minutes. But for this week now, this is the way it's going to be set up for the Bucs. We're going to see starters coming in play, quarter, maybe quarter and a half. And if I'm Todd Bowles, even though Baker Mayfield is going to be the starting quarterback, I would let Baker Mayfield play the first quarter, the entire first quarter. I would let Kyle Trask play in the second quarter behind the first team offense, and let's see what Kyle Trask does. Why not? Well, why not extend this competition at least to Friday or Saturday? That's why you play the games, boys. Competition. Your job is not being handed to you on a silver platter unless you're Tom freaking Brady. And guess what? Tom freaking Brady has left the building. Okay? And people were kind of like, I guess Baker has this thing that, that he's entitled. And I don't, and look, I know what the Buccaneers are doing. They're bringing a quarterback competition, but I'm wondering if it's competition, if it's competition of a true nature, or it's a competition to upgrade up upstage, not to upstage, but to make Kyle Trask better, which is what I think what they want to do. I think that for this organization, what they're wanting to do is make Kyle Trask the future of this ball club. Forget about Caleb Williams in USC. That's not going to happen. Okay, the Bucs cannot afford a guy like Caleb Williams, especially in the salary cap hell that they're in right now. And oh, by the way, they're going to make some decisions next year on the salary cap and how they're going to arrange that. But what I say to um, the contract haters, which they are, there are a lot of haters out there that don't like Kyle Trask for one reason or another. The Kyle Trask is a hell of a quarterback. And when given the opportunity, the man can play. And we saw that in the game last week. We saw the beautiful touchdown play that he had to Trey Palmer towards the end of the first half. Palmer made a great play to make the TD reception. We saw how in the second half, the Bucs were deep in their own territory, and Kyle Trask was able to, with some great throws, was able to get the team out of that hell and move them down the field. And you don't like that. You don't like the progress of that. You know, I say to all that is I say to all that is watching, go back and look at the film again. Look at the all 22 on NFL.com and NFL Plus. I thought I had the all 22, but I guess I do have to need to go back and look at that. But Kyle Trask played a very good ball. Kyle Trask played very well. And I don't see the problem in letting this play the quarterback competition play out another week. You have to understand that the Buccaneers are not going to play right away. Once the preseason ends, there's 2 weeks, boys. There's 2 weeks until the Buccaneers take the field again for September 12th or September 11th, whatever the date, I believe it's 12th. There is that 2 weeks. So it's not like Baker Mayfield has to get ready in a week. It's 2 weeks. Okay. I think people need to I think people need to really take a step back, understand what's going on, and realize that you know that in my mind that the trash should have been straight. Now, having said that, I think what the Bucs are doing is they're giving Baker Mayfield the start. And in a lot of ways, it's much easier to it's much easier to replace a Baker Mayfield with Kyle Trask than with Kyle Trask to replace Baker Mayfield. No, it's much easier for Kyle Trask to replace Baker Mayfield than for Baker Mayfield to replace Kyle Trask. Let me explain by that. If Kyle Trask, if Baker Mayfield falters and Kyle Trask comes in and plays well, that's the end of Baker Mayfield. That's the end of Caleb Williams, to be quite honest with you. That's my judgment. But if Kyle Trask fails and Baker Mayfield comes in, okay, then he fails again, is a whitewash. I tend to wonder if somewhere in the back of their minds they're thinking that before the season's over with, Kyle Trask is going to see a lot of action. I think what the Buccaneers plan is right now to get Baker Mayfield up and going, get him the starting quarterback, and slowly but surely work him into the system. Because I said earlier, I'll say it again. I think and believe that contrast is the future of Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You may think I'm crazy, you may think I'm nuts. My wife says about me all the time, but that's another story altogether. But that's what I think. That's what I believe it's going to happen. Post your comments in the chat room. We'd love to get your thoughts on what you think about that. I'd love to hear Corey's thoughts on what I'm talking about too. You know, Corey made comment in regards to the Iowa Barnstormers, I'll go and get to that right now and answer the question. He has a comment. Joe, let's talk about the Barnstormers. Why haven't they fired the coach? He isn't the answer for this team to get back on top. Well, I beg to differ on that. I beg to differ. I beg to differ as to why, and I understand why most Barnstormers fans have this notion that Murchison should be gone, but you have to understand that this team was injury riddled throughout the course of the season. They had their starting quarterback. They lose their starting quarterback at the beginning of the year. Could not find a good quality backup to play well. Okay, the defense was just atrocious. The defensive coordinator gets fired during the course of the year. They don't know if the new guy that they brought in was going to even be with the team due to the fact he signed to play with to coach a NFL team that never was going to take place, and a lot of those factors weigh into that. Now, do I think coaching changes should be made? Yes, I do. I think there's going to be some coaching changes. I think we're going to see those moves in a few weeks. Murchison is not going anywhere. Okay. JDP is feeling nicely from everything I'm hearing. I think he's going to be back. I just think they need to find some beef up front. Okay. I'm not going to blame this season on Murchison. I think in a lot of ways it was just a rebuilding it now. If they have another bad year next year, then you got to start talking about the future and where they go from here. Okay. And you can say the same thing about the Buccaneers too. Is Todd Bowles' job in trouble? I would like to think not. I would like to think that, given what Todd Bowles is up against, would they even think about putting his job in jeopardy? I mean, this is what the Bucs have planned, people. Okay, this is what the Bucs have planned. This is the overall goal to bring in a guy like Baker Mayfield and a guy like Trash to compete. Now, there are a few reasons for that. And a lot of it has to do with salary cap. When you're just $400,000 above in the salary cap, you're not going to be able to do much. You really are not going to be able to do much. And so the issue becomes, you go out and grab a first tier quarterback and put yourself in salary cap help for eternity. No, you don't. You don't do that. This is the animal with the visual animal football. Well, thank you for the question. No, I don't believe Murchison should be fired. Okay. The issue for this team to get back on top is to get some really good quality players. And him and Julie Pettit and company, they need to figure out where they want to go and how they want to do this. because they need another they need to have another good season. They need to have another good season to start packing them in, and I think they will. I have a lot of confidence in Dave Murchison and what he's doing right now. There's still a long way to go. Okay, just patience is a virtue in everything, and including in sports. Patience is a virtue. Murchison will be fine. I have no question in my mind about it. Now, let us talk about something else that is going on, and that is my beloved Florida. That is our beloved Florida Gators. Now, as you know by now, they are 9 days away from the start of the football season when they will be traveling to Utah. Excuse me. And oh, by the way, before I go any further, a lot of you wonder why is the animal doing the show on Tuesday. Number one, I was hoping to get more people to watch. Also, um, get more viewership. Also, the wife and I are taking a little mini vacation. We're going to take a few days off, go down to Minnesota, Chainhausen, spend some time with family and friends. She has some friends, and we're going to go down and see them. Uh, Excuse me just a second here. Let me mute myself. Just sorry about that. And so we're leaving on Friday, got to pack on Thursday, not going to have time to do the show. Now, I have a dilemma here. And I'm hoping you people can help. Because we are, oh wow, that's interesting. Baseball music, when I get talking about that. We're going to Minnesota for a few days, go to Minnesota State Fair, go to do some other things, to see the world biggest IKEA store. And I gotta be honest with you, I never been to IKEA. Never happened. So I'm looking forward to that. And headlining the whole vacation will be going to the Minnesota State Fair, watching the Cowsills. Now, you don't know who the Cowsills are. They're a musical group from back in the 50s and the 60s. They're really good. They're really good. And if you guys get a chance to go see them, do that. But here's the dilemma that I'm facing, okay? We're going to see the Cowsills on Sunday night at the Minnesota State Fair. No, Monday night at the Minnesota State Fair. Okay. No problem. I'm looking forward to it. Great time. But then, after we got our tickets and got everything done, come to find out that the Cowsills were going to be in Des Moines the following Thursday. So we got the tickets for that. So that Thursday night is also the first game of this Gators football season when they take on Utah. That is on that night. And like a dummy, I said yes. Yes, I'm going to the concert, not knowing fully well the bigger picture that's the Florida Gators playing. And so my question becomes, and I want you guys to comment: should I go to the Cowsills concert, or should I stay home and listen to watch the Florida Gators? Your thoughts in the chat room. Let's see what you guys think about all this. You're truly animal on the animal football. I'm stoked about the game on next Thursday. For a lot of reasons, I'm interested in seeing what Dan Mertz can do. I'm interested in Billy Napier's second year as head coach of the Florida Gators and what he can do. And I'm excited about what this offensive line can do. Okay. Um, they have a good group of guys. I'm interested in seeing what the defense is going to do. I just love their defensive coordinator. And for some strange reason, it's my pick right now. Let's see here. He is so, he is just so, um, he's such a pumped up kind of guy, Austin Armstrong, the defensive coordinator. This is the guy, and everybody that you hear from loves loves him. They think that Armstrong, he brings so much passion and fire to this defense. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to what Rob Sale can bring to the offensive line. Of course, by now Sale used to be the offensive line coach with New York Giants and is stepping in now the with the Gators. And the Gators have a pretty good set of offensive line. And I want to tell you right now, I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised if we see this defense get 20 to 25 sacks on the year. I know, going out on a limb, but you know what? I'm the animal, so I am allowed to do that. Okay, on my channel, yeah, watching a little bit of the race game here, can't do it right now. Hopefully, we'll come back on in just a couple of minutes. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited about what this defense is going to do. Now, what you're going to see is that Billy Napier is going to be addressing the media on this Thursday. Okay, and that first press conference typically is the beginning of game week. So when Billy Napier addresses the media, that tells you Florida Gator football is right around the corner. We're looking forward to it. I want to ask you guys something. How many got Netflix? If you if you get a chance on Netflix, okay, um, if you get a chance on Netflix, there is a series on the Florida Gators, and when you watch that series, it takes you in depth into the 2008 Florida Gator season, okay, with Urban Meyer during the Urban Meyer days. Um, and it's so fascinating because you really go behind the scenes and you get a feel for what this team was about. And it's a totally different picture than what everybody was talking about during the Urban Meyer days. And right now I just got done with the third episode. I'm looking forward to the fourth one. To be able to watch that very soon after I get done with my fantasy football league tonight. Josh Allen. So I'm pretty excited about that as well. And in the process, you get the idea that what was happening with the Gators back then. Really, truthfully, lies in part of what's happening today with Billy Napier. Not in terms of the outside stuff, players being arrested and things like that, but just the culture. Because one thing I love about Urban Meyer, what he brought to what he brought to the Gators, was at first he established a winning culture. I mean, they got that stadium. They had that stadium rocked back in 2008 or 2010, and it's very fascinating because Tim Tebow talks a lot about. Um, uh, Tim Tebow talks a lot about how he was able, um, with the comments that he made, the press conference and everything about the great promise that he made to people. Um, and, 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 and if you ever go to Florida Field, I remember going to Florida Field several years ago, where this was years after the Tim Tebow thing. They have a wall where Tebow's comments were made. And I thought that was just so cool. It was just awesome. And he talked about that, and it was really something fascinating. And I suggest you guys, if you get a chance, um, check it out on Netflix. You know, um, it's really good. It's really fascinating. And if you ever wonder what it's like to go behind the scenes of a football program, that's it. Literally animal books about fine people covered direct. Excuse me. I don't know what's wrong with him. I'm talking. I have no idea why. Linda Roberts watching, George King watching, Corey Bruce watching. Thank you all for joining me. I love it. I'm trying to get my good friend Benton Taylor to come on sometime so we can talk about his show. Well, not a show, but his company and such. I would like to get new insights as to what's going on. Check out some things that were quick, see if anything that is going on. Um, Not much football news. The Swamp Kings. That's what it's called. The Swamp Kings on Netflix. So you guys really, um, you guys really need to check it out. Oh, and by the way, back to the Buccaneers for a few minutes. Only Jensen is not going to play. They're still holding him out for precautionary reasons. I simply doubt that if Jensen doesn't see action until the second week. Apparently, that ACL is not holding up yet. Yeah, well, not holding up, but I don't think I think the Bucs feel that he is just not ready yet. So, um, so as I was stating before, okay, this is the first big weekend of college football, okay, and right out of the box, we have a big game. What's happening? In fact, let's go and let's kind of take a look at what's going on in the first week in college football. Because um, technically, this is week one of the college football season. And there's not a lot of games, but it's still college football. And right out of the bat, Navy's going to be at Notre Dame. UTEP at Jacksonville State, UMass at New Mexico State, Ohio will be at San Diego State. The SEC Network opens up their play. Hawaii at Vanderbilt. San Jose at USC. That'll be on Pac-12 Network. Central International be at Louisiana Tech. Those are all the games. Then the Thursday night games, we got some pretty good games too. Headlined by, of course, Florida, Utah. Kent State will be at UCF, Rhode Island, Georgia State, St. Francis at Western Michigan, I'm just giving you the games, folks, if I see them. NC State at UConn. Nebraska will be in Minnesota. That's a 7 o'clock game. South Dakota will be at Missouri on SEC Network. That's a 7 o'clock game. Arkansas will be at Tulsa. Um, North Carolina ATUAB. Utah, Arizona State. Friday's matchup will be headlined by Miami of Ohio at the University of Miami on the ACC Network. Central Michigan will be at Michigan State. And other game, Missouri State, Kansas. Stanford at Hawaii, followed by a big weekend matchup. So, um, those are the games that are going on for this week. Now, I can see my buddy, if I can get my buddy, see if he's available to join me, because I do not see him on right now. No, I don't see him on right now, so we might have to miss him for another week. Now, next week will be on Tuesday as we get to preview the Florida Gators. I'm hoping to bring on a great guest to join me, and Scott Carter. Hopefully he'll be able to join me for that. And then we got a great guest coming up on September 21st. I am excited as all to to have him on. Um, and so I'm looking forward to that one. So that's gonna be good. What am I doing here? Hold on, please. I gotta change this, man. Let me do something. Not that, not that. Which one? Excuse me. There we go. Not that one. Okay. There we go. Good friends and company directors. I'll bring them up. Talk about them for a little bit. My good friend Benton Taylor. What's wrong with me? He's gonna ask for a pay cut. What the heck? You know? Oh boy. Checking Twitter, seeing if anything is happening, anything that is exciting. I don't see anything there. I'm giving you the updates on what's going to be happening next week. Um, see here. All right. See if PFT has anything going on. And by the way, something other interesting is happening too. Jonathan Taylor from the Indianapolis Colts has asked to trade. Okay, because I guess he's not happy with the contract. There are indications that he might go with the Dallas Cowboys, but nothing is official as of yet. The Colts have said that they're going to allow him to seek a trade, so we're going to see what goes on with that. Mr. K. Johnson to his protocol. Um, what else do you have going on here? Aaron Rodgers is going to be playing in the preseason game on Friday. So, of course, he plays for the Jets. Um, Rumors about Jonathan Taylor joining the Cowboys. Jerry Jones says, I feel comfortable with the path that we have. That's interesting, considering the fact that they don't have Ezekiel Elliott anymore. So, that's going to be, that should be something to keep watching. Now, a lot of people say, why not the Bucs? Why wouldn't the Bucs try and get Jonathan Taylor? Number one, Jonathan Taylor's going to come at a price. Number two, the Buccaneers do not have the cap space to the Buccaneers do not have cap space. Okay, so they are in they're in an interesting dilemma. So we'll see what happens on that. So, but don't expect Jonathan Taylor to come here at all. Don't expect him to be a part of. Don't expect him to be a part of team next year. So, um, Tuesday night, we'll be back on again next week for another edition of Animal Football Insider. Next Tuesday. Um, hopefully we can get some guests lined up ready to go. Yeah, I hope you join us. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate that. But next week we'll be on Tuesday night when we get home from Minnesota. So we'll be doing that on Tuesday night, and then Thursday, see what happens. Might be able to watch the game on a tape delay. You'll have DVD tape it, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. I'm going to take another spin around. Um, Rays are down 4-3 in the top of the sixth inning. Um, let's see. Okay, David Sutter questions. A friend of mine asked a question. Altitude can affect the quarterback throwing the football. And we've talked, and I said, well, we've talked about this aspect too. Can affect how high the altitude is. Will it affect the play? I think it will. And it all depends on when the game. If the Gators decide to leave the day before the game, okay, then they're not going to get used to it. Okay. Um, but if they leave a couple of days, they might be able to get used to that altitude and maybe get adjusted when they get ready to play Utah. So, ooh. Okay, Brett Murphy is reporting now that Iowa Hawkeyes have received eligibility rules from the NCAA on 11 athletes from both football and wrestling that were involved in a wagering investigation. Records go on further to say that depending on the violations, penalties could range anywhere from simple attending prevention education to permanent loss of college eligibility. Iowa right now is not releasing any specific information without the students' consent. Okay, um, which is not interesting. That's an interesting development because now you have the Iowa State situation and what's happening with them with the gambling and all that. So that's going to be that this decision has just come out. It's going to be very interesting to watch. It's going to be very interesting to watch um, as this investigation into Iowa State turn keeps going. Let's see here. By the way, Jim Harbaugh reportedly is receiving a 3-game suspension for violations of NCAA. So, um, so that's news. So that's the latest that's going on there. Okay, so got all that. We have told you about the game. We talked about the game that's going on this weekend with college football. The Bucs play on Friday. Watch that game on National WFLA. Hopefully, I can get the game as well. And we're just gonna have a good time. We'll be back on Tuesday. We'll talk about the Bucs game and what happened there. The final count, the final roster spots are supposed to be happening on Sunday, and they're going to announce probably about 40 players. We already know that the kickers now they've already made this decision on the kicker. So that's one less player. So you have to that the Buccaneers will have to be worried about. Thank you all for watching tonight. Make it a great Sunday. Make it a great weekend. I'll be back 1 week from tonight, and like Wayne Chung says, hope you have fun tonight. Thanks everybody that's watching the show tonight. You make it a great day. And I always like to say that if you're not gonna be a Gator, you're trying to be Gator bait. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for watching Animal Football Insider. Be sure to join us every Thursday night here on Facebook Live.